right, folks. Welcome back to New Orleans, Louisiana. I hope you did not go anywhere, unless you just went to get more coffee like me. Conrad, here with Jesse, and we're about to watch the good Dave Wiegand, Dr. Bing, play against Jason Ubeika, Toronto's finest against Portland's finest.
Yeah, it's good to see Jason up here. Jason's a longtime stalwart,
Yeah, he
frequent opponent for both of us over the years, and looks like he's having a good run so far.
yeah, we saw him in the very first game of the tournament yesterday, I think, where he kind of gave his best against current tournament leader Josh Castellano, but good to see he's recovered from that game. Dave to start here. Should be a banger.
Yeah, I always benchmark on whether I'm having a good tournament when whoever the best player is in that tournament,
So
if you
Dave
get to
again.
play him at least once, that's like a sign that you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Like usually, if I get to play Nigel Richards
Yeah.
once in a tournament, it's like, okay, I did something right.
Yeah.
Dave is kind of the equivalent of that for this tournament
And most
and
tournaments.
most tournaments. So
Oh,
we
oh,
can,
oh, 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 oh. So close.
my God.
So close. If you don't know, if you don't know what we're talking about, chat, I'm sure you'll help us out.
Yeah, if that N were a W, that would have been quite
Yeah.
the draw. Usually you don't want W's, but much like wanting the U last game for Wudgula,
Yeah.
you have some real well, honestly, we might just get some profanity on the
Yeah,
board
I
here.
think we may need to cancel this game. Love to see it. Love to see it.
I shouldn't be laughing. I just Dave's draw is
Is
cathartic somehow.
it's Dave Wiegand.
And he's
Yeah,
he's also organized it in the
yeah,
best possible
yeah.
sequence for us. Thanks, Dave. That really made
Yeah.
my morning.
So there's a few of us. I am like this too, but Dave is also a troll. Dave and I are neighbors in Portland, Oregon, so we share a lot of these things. But like to have some fun when we're on stream. You probably saw me do a couple things at the California Open when I was briefly up there with how I spell things out on my rack. Like if I was Jason right now, I mean, oh
Y-
boy, I'd be having some fun.
Yeah, I'm impressed anyone has the presence of mind to do that at all. I usually don't realize the comedy potential until much later.
I think it helps me deal with anxiety,
Sure.
honestly.
Well, there it goes.
Yeah, really, there's not much to talk about here. It was an
It's a verb,
it
folks.
was an effing good play.
It's a verb, and it only takes an S hook, as far
Yeah.
as I know.
Now, I will say it does preserve, actually makes even better Dave's spot here. So he should be able to kind of get out of a pretty bad rack. Meanwhile, absolute trash drawn by Jason. My goodness, that's just terrible.
Yeah, it's one of the when you start setting seriously, one of the first things you learn are these short words with a lot of vowels that help you maneuver out of exactly the spot that Dave is in. And so here he has the word awee, A-W-E-E. I don't know if that's exactly what he's going to do. Does he have wage lined up?
He does have wage lined up, which is also pretty tempting.
I think I would want to not have three vowels. Generally, the more balanced your rack is between consonants and vowels, the
Yeah.
better. Maybe you want one extra consonant over the number of vowels that you have. So two consonants, one vowel, three consonants, two vowels.
Yeah.
Of course, it matters what the consonants are as well, but I I'm I would be pretty surprised if he decided
Yeah.
to keep three vowels when he has the chance to be a little more balanced.
I expect him to play a we. One thing I'll probably note about Dave over time, historically kind of one of the first really like big open board players, kind of even predated Quackle in doing that. I like to think Quackle was trained on Dave. It looks like he is going to play a we. Dave has gotten more defensive in years, or kind of really like learned how to play a pretty incredible defensive game. I'm not going to say that's from learning how to deal with me as one of his neighbors, but just in general, like he really does look for opportunities. Like he'll evaluate, does is wage worth it because it doesn't give that throwaway 7 lane beneath the E in OE. He will really look for things like that. Obviously, OE, the correct play here over wage, he played that, but it's where if you haven't seen Dave in a while, he's really developed the defensive and kind of board analysis game that is, you know, just really, really good. Anyway,
Fascinating. Jason navigates his way out of his 6 consonant rack with ninth. A very nice play. RTT has a pretty fair chance of cleaning up into something
yeah, but he's
more
navigated
palatable.
he's navigated Dave right into a bingo though.
So he has.
So that's unfortunate for Jason. And Dave is not someone you want to start out with a deficit against. Dude scores like a machine.
Absolutely. Ag Nation goes down.
Though,
Dave is yes.
yeah. I don't know, no, you finished, but I mean you'll note what Jason's what he's now walked into thanks to stagnation.
Right. Jason's going to get to keep up immediately with his rack. 3 double consonants. Normally not what you want, but
Yeah.
rotators presenting itself. And yeah, I was just going to say Dave found that bingo very quickly. It's one of the great strengths he brings to the game, as we talked about yesterday, is he is, along with maybe Will Anderson, just one of the kings of anagramming power and word knowledge in our game. And it he actually can play pretty methodically when he doesn't have bingos, but
Yeah.
he makes a ton of time for his non-bingo turns by playing his bingos quickly.
Yeah. And if you're new to this, Dave is also notable for his knowledge of longer words. So most of us,
Right.
most top experts, they eventually study all the sevens and all the eights, and they'll get into the nines. Dave is, at least in TWL, in the North American lexicon, like he knows all the nines. In Collins, he certainly studied them. Doesn't know all of them perfectly. He studied tens.
Yeah, deep bingo knowledge.
Things I will never do in my life. And so, Dave's always good for some kind of cool, crazy play at some point. He had dinner with him last night. He was most proud of playing sepadding, sepadding as a 9. So that was his, which honestly is like child's play for him. But we'll see. I'm surprised Jason hasn't played rotators yet. Looks like he's starting to maybe no. Oh,
Yeah, it can be one of those that you just that's a colossal
oh
miss.
no.
Yeah, I think the chat really nailed it here, where you have to sort of allow yourself to look for a bingo.
Yeah.
And he may have autopiloted just the mentality of, well, I have 3 double letters, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
what is the algorithm? Well, I play
Yeah.
off the duplicates.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done there, but unfortunately missing rotators, which would have been pretty essential for keeping him in
Yeah.
striking distance.
I guess if anything, well, okay. I was gonna say before he actually really drew a double double, so he's actually gonna get right back in the game as it turns out. But I would say, the saving grace of not bingoing was he's most likely to hook that 4-letter F word next turn, and rotators would open a triple, not a very powerful one for Dave, so he kind of gets away with it here. But he
Right.
really gets away with it because I think he will find disroot and whatever. How do you pronounce that other word?
Orids?
No, the hook for what's disroot hooking?
Oh, Ed.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, really, really important move for Dave here. I think this is one where he recognizes the need to lock in.
Yeah,
He has a lot of insight into Jason's rack because you would only play for 14 points if your remaining letters were really good.
yeah,
And he also, Jason missed a bingo, but Jason didn't have a bingo, so you kind of know exactly what Jason has there. Dave just opts for the points there, which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
35. He could have gone for something. Could did he have? No. Influ is not a word. Oh,
Yeah.
disroot goes down
Yeah.
immediately.
Yep.
That is critical. 96 points. Very
Yeah.
nice.
But Dave will benefit from that O. We know he
He's gonna immediately strike back with the Z play.
he likes playing that Z in that exact spot. If you
This
recall yesterday, that's where he had his little Z set up against Chris Lape.
this is why we love Collins.
Yeah. The scoring never stops. Like, this
Yes.
is Austin's channel too, so
Is
if
it
you're
really? Okay, well,
yeah,
I should limit my profanity then.
yeah. Well,
There'll be children watching.
but it's I mean, this is just amazing. Like, even if Zinc wasn't there, he'd have Visor at the top, which is also great.
Yes.
What a
Let's see. Zinc takes some hooks, takes the O, takes the Y.
does.
Let's see if Jason draws a
Yeah.
riposte to the riposte.
Yeah. Now, is this ever a situation? So yesterday you were mentioning sometimes you want to keep the hook on a big play, or sorry, you want to immediately play the hook on a big play as opposed to saving it. Would you ever consider just playing Zin here because Zinc takes the Y and the O and the S? Or
The
would you
reason I would
prefer?
play Zinc here is because I have the V, and the C and the V
Yeah,
are not friends.
not friends.
The V is actually just kind of hostile to every other letter,
Yeah,
basically. But especially if you have multiple high pointers, you want to unblock your rack and not keep two of them.
yeah,
So that's I think you
yep,
just gotta embrace the the possibility that your opponent might score a lot of points back, but just try to clean things up on your end
yeah.
anyway. Wow, that is a very nice draw for David Wiegand. Although I don't know that it's immediately gonna lead to a bingo, but it definitely looks bingo-ish, or maybe a turn away.
It's close. It's got that the awkward UV is not great, but could turn into something. Could materialize soon. There's some good spots to dump UV if that's what he decides to do.
A C in space would have been curative.
Yes. Well, in a different space. There is a C in space, as it
Yes,
turns out.
the other C.
Yeah.
Chat suggests just a blue.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks pretty reasonable. I think so. Zinc takes an O, as we mentioned. Yeah, and another way you could take this is you could play Gob and Zinco, or even Globi as a sort of a double setup. Or, I mean, what I would really love is to hook Zinc, make Zinco big slap. Thank you, Jason. Wow, that's awesome. That was great. I actually sort of wonder if he should have gone for something like that could set up both ways. Like the ideal would be you play a 5-letter word, hooking Zinco. Like if Gopil was a word and then it sets up an S hook, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Bloop very reasonable. I just wish he had kept the O hook there, but did keep pretty good letters. If he draws an N, especially, is a good chance of drawing a bingo here.
Yeah. I think that's what he's kind of hoping for is
Yeah.
maybe the ING. And already only 2 ends left. Pretty decent draw. Nothing immediately is doors. Gelsemic.
Yeah, one
Doesn't sound like a
tile off
word.
of mileages, top left.
Yeah,
That
mileages.
A is
Yeah.
in just the wrong spot for him.
Yeah. So almost a good draw. But at the point in the time, a point in the tournament where, all right, drinking some coffee. A point in the game where a good rack is still good. He's not out of the game yet. He wants to bingo soon, but he can afford to have a couple turns of 24, balance the rack, whatever.
A point in time saves 9. Oh my god. All right, I need to
All right.
drink.
Yeah, we're gonna ask Kate to come out and commentate for us for about 20 minutes. But yeah, what do you do if you're Dave here? You could just kind of go dinking around if you want.
Yeah, this is I really love watching how Dave makes decisions. This is a really important one,
Yeah,
and one where he typically excels
yeah,
at finding the right strategic path
yeah.
forward.
Because there's a number of different tacks you could take here. There's everything
Right,
from like Varian to the end to
right.
Love in the top right, Bug in the top left. One plays defense, one doesn't. One goes through all the tiles. You could play for points and
You
keep a.
could
I don't. There's
you could play Vought at the top right, VAUTE,
yeah,
making
exactly.
DE.
Yeah,
Arrive is a really interesting way of
yeah.
moving forward because it's a very high scoring
It's
play,
the
maybe
scoring.
the
Yeah,
highest scoring move he could make there. TU is an unexceptional combination. In fact, I
right.
would say a bad combination, but Dave,
Yeah,
um, bi- I like that he didn't fixate on trying to turn his
right.
rack into a bingo rack because he's now taking a 78-point lead. He doesn't really need to bingo, so
Yeah,
he's sort of in a way he reduces some of the variance just by simply taking the points now instead of
yeah,
trying to vie for a bingo. So
yeah.
I like the decision.
It makes sense to me. He's also keeping the pressure on. If Jason bingos, like it's still going to be very close. If he may still even have the lead. From our perspective, of course, he opened an I and an E when Jason needed an A or an O to be open. So he did kind of he dodged a little bit of a mid game bullet there, but
That's right. Actually, great point by Mr. Wanderer 15 in chat that the blanks are both unseen,
yeah,
and that's another reason when the blanks are both unseen and we're not quite halfway through the game, but maybe a third of the way into the game, there becomes an incentive to turn over extra letters to try to reach for one of the blanks. It's less valuable to hold on to good tiles because the
right,
really good tiles are
yeah,
still out there.
yeah. Especially if you have a lead while doing it. Interesting play for Jason. It's kind of a similar thing. You could do something like Gleim in the top right, keep ES, go for some tiles, get that big, huge sinks hook. You could make a shorter play. You could play egg, everyone's favorite word. No, you wouldn't actually play egg here.
He could
Mm,
play egg.
can always play egg. Good morning, afternoon, and evening to the chat, both Twitch, and we are also on YouTube today as well. So if you're one of those hangout into
Uh-oh.
streams, ooh, interesting. Jason has found the bingo in his rack, but it's not a bingo. Okay. He plays what appears to be the good middling play there of Elm, which keeps a pretty okay leave. Also scores well. I don't know. What do you think of Elm versus a play like Gleim or something? I really didn't see much else.
Jason is really enjoying trolling us so far, I have to say.
Yeah.
Big Slop was pretty special. I think Elm looks fine, but is a bit of a mistake precisely because so many of the ends are gone.
Yeah.
Although he's just drawn a
Yeah.
bingo here, so it worked out for him.
Yeah.
I think it's just the GI combination is basically only good if you can draw an N. And so that's I would have been tempted to play them off with something like Lime, also
Yeah.
reaching for the blanks a bit, but I don't think Elm is significantly worse. It's got to be a marginal difference, and it's worked out for Jason here.
Yeah. I do wonder, this is one of the situations where I kind of feel like, again, Dave is my most common Scrabble opponent, so I'm playing a little bit of inside
I'm
baseball here.
jealous that your neighbor just
I
happens to be
know. We live on
best
literally the same.
North
We
American
live on
player.
actually
It's pretty special.
the same street, a few blocks away. But Dave's intuition for when to clamp down is like, I mean, to me, it almost seems like he's like looking at my tiles good, and so I wonder, like, is this the moment after Elm where Dave is just like, you know what, screw this and plays Jot and Zinco just to start removing some volatility? Like, I feel like he's just
Right.
got such a good instinct for like when to start clamping down. I mean, maybe that's just his best play anyway, but Jolt or Fuji. I mean, there are other options worth considering, but
No, I think Elm is pretty suspicious
yeah,
if I see that. I the panic lights are definitely going off. Three S's remaining. I think Elm also crucially is not what you do if you have a blank. Because I think you would probably try to score more points, or like you would typically be able to score more points. You wouldn't worry as much. You wouldn't be as fishy with the blank,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it kind of telescopes me into 4 1-point letters with ES.
Right.
And then if you get to that and you look at the board, you say, well, the Zincs, I mean, that is by far the scariest spot on the board.
Yeah.
So I could absolutely see
Yeah.
a Jot coming down here.
This is a fun one to talk through, watch the thinking. It's pretty instructive, I feel.
Dave is pretty expressive with his tile movements. He reminds me a little bit of Nigel Richards, where you can kind of check in with him at
Yeah.
across his thinking
Yeah.
process and
Yeah.
just kind of see what he's thinking about at any point in
Yeah.
time. It's very generous
Yeah.
with Dave.
And I actually genuinely think he's doing that, like, on stream more than usual.
To be
Um,
instructive, that's really cool.
I think so, not like he's not going out of his way to do it, like, when he
Yeah.
does play, he will set up the play that he's thinking about, but
Yeah, that's pretty special. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, take your viewer on a journey with you.
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. I mean, we know that he rearranges his tiles to do funny things, so
And we get all this for free, folks. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
thank you all for joining us. It's a great tournament, one of the best, one of the most heralded on the calendar. Some of the best
yeah,
players in North America. Uh, Jock, yeah, Jock
yeah.
comes down. Great play.
And of course, don't forget to drop a little follow for Austin here if you haven't already.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe on
Super
PW. Yeah,
chat. I don't even know between YouTube and Twitch. I don't even know all the
yeah.
things you can do. Use your Prime subscription. So is so that blocked
That
everything,
just
right?
blocked everything. Yeah, that was he noted the threat and dealt with it. Now what are we looking at? Something like frog? So sad.
Right. Well, I mean, that's another reason not to play Elm because it was pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit 2020 hindsight because obviously he had the I, the E, but he had an E and an I in his rack, and the I
Right.
and the E on the board were actually could be harder for him to play through. The V is not great. The L, the B, all not really great with EGIS.
Yeah.
Again, unless you draw that N, in which case you're probably fine.
Yeah.
But so this is kind of an expectable byproduct of
Yeah.
playing Elm
Yeah.
on the previous turn.
Yeah. Chat notes, Rosier for 47 is a pretty good play here. I think that makes sense. You're down 84 with both blanks unseen. Dave most likely did not have a blank after Jot. No guarantee, but it's less likely than usual, I would say.
What if you I'm just throwing ideas out
Yeah.
here. What if you just fish the G here and try to draw Rosier
Rosier.
with the E under does Zinco take S?
Yeah.
I wasn't actually sure about that.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
almost be tempted to I mean, okay. So he's down 84 points. I would almost be tempted to fish the G here.
But both blanks unseen? I feel like this is such a good time to, like, dig right into the bag.
Yeah, he needs a lot to go his way. He kind of
Yeah.
needs so a lot of times when I'm behind, I think about slowing the game down, and it's basically like if he turns over 6 tiles now, even if he draws a blank, he's gonna end the game a lot faster, right? So what if he just fishes 1 tile right now, goes for the 100-point play, could get blocked, but, like, what you really wanna do is you wanna fish a tile, bingo, draw the blank, bingo, draw the other
Ideally,
blank,
yeah, that's
bingo, and
yeah.
that's what he's gonna have to do to win at this point.
I think the only other, like, well, I'm sure there's many takes, but, like, one take I might have is, well, if Jason can pull both blanks, he scores 47 now. Draw blank blank. This pool's not great without blanks. There's, a QU combo and X left, whatever. But there's also something to be said for ending the game really fast. Rosier,
From Jason's perspective,
I mean, he could kind of go all in on that, right? He just goes ahead, plays for 47, gets a good draw, bingos.
I don't think you can catch Dave doing that. Dave's gonna score too many points, he's too good. To me, I would have fished a tile there.
Yeah. Maybe I should have been simming this one. This also, like, we really didn't talk about this play. Giros is arguably a better version of Rosier because it sets up a new lane in the bottom left. Not a great one, but a new lane. gets rid of the G.
Yeah, it doesn't keep a G. I really
Yeah,
didn't
keeping
didn't like the
ER.
G and
Yeah,
the way
which
things were going.
is which is definitely fair. He still managed to not draw bingo.
Bird mine? I'm just
Mine,
kidding.
yeah,
Yeah, Jiro's
yeah,
was really nice. It was,
yeah,
I think, superior to Rose. I would
yeah,
have fished there, but
mhm,
Jiro's was a pretty good way. But yeah, it's actually it scores a lot, so it leaves
yeah.
him down 40. So you're right. Maybe things aren't desperate enough for him to fish there. This Jason's actually not in a bad spot at all.
But it's still like, I mean, whether no matter what, it's still a good thought exercise because there is a point such that even at this point in the game, you might be really willing to make a fishy play when you're down a lot because it is your best way back into the game. So it is, I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, it's all about pacing. It's
Yeah,
basically just yeah, slow when you're ahead, you're just trying to get the game over with as fast as possible. Just kind of block up the board, turn over a lot of tiles. When you're behind, you really want to draw things out as much as possible. It's a good principle.
how about Magnation?
Well, I mean, if Dave Wiegand plays it on you, you have to at least think about it. It's
Yeah,
not. I mean, in the world lexicon, there's only a 5 point penalty, which sort of reins in the possible abuse.
yeah.
Is he
Thank
just
you.
gonna play Tay here? I was wondering about whether he would do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of Arrive, where I mean, it scores really well, crucially, right?
It scores really well, but this is always the sort of play where I'm hesitant to make it because I like to kinda stick to the
Stick to the
same.
plan.
Yeah, I wanna stick to the plan, and to me, this doesn't really feel like it's sticking to the plan. Of course, you drew H blank, so,
Yeah.
like,
Sometimes you just draw the blank on a
yeah,
two-tail draw.
yeah, disroot me, but, and I mean, what a time to draw H blank when there's a spot where you can end a bingo in UT.
Yeah, when this happens, when I draw I know it's not really useful, but when I draw the blank on a short draw, after making a long play and not getting the blank, I think of it as kind of
Yeah,
cumulative vindication. Basically, it's like I
yeah,
was rewarded for
yeah,
investing and
yeah,
trying to turn over extra tiles,
yeah,
and it didn't happen immediately, but that's
yeah. So today, this is not shareholder capitalism.
yeah.
Uh,
Why am I using all this finance jargon? Uh,
uh Shout out to Scrabble Crush. Thank you for the Prime subscription to Austin's channel. We are not Austin, but we love Austin. And we know that the scoring never stops. So thank you for the sub.
Not on our watch.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the alternatives were to Tay? He could have done Yeed, Yead, and Hota, but that would have kept ITU,
Yeah.
which is really dreadful. Maybe there just wasn't a good alternative.
I mean, one thought was maybe, I mean, it's a sacrifice, but AYU in the top left to keep that better leave.
For
It's kind of going
keep 23.
more for
Interesting.
points. I guess my fear is you're looking at 2 more U's unseen, and so Dave, like, the DEITU rack can just get
But you do have the
so
Q.
bad.
We saw
You could, yeah.
we saw so many times
Right,
yesterday where people
yeah,
were keeping IOU, drawing the Q,
yeah,
and immediately scoring 50 plus.
yeah. If he had played AYU, guaranteed he draws Q.
That's a Q magnet right there,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
So Jason's side, down 71 points. Tay doesn't say a whole lot.
yeah,
We can tell that he's in a good measure of trouble,
yeah,
but from his perspective, he's got a chance here if he can navigate this and get to a bingo fast and try to draw one or both of the blanks. And yeah, again, I think you want to make a small fish here. You almost don't want to draw the blank
right.
prematurely because you're so close to a bingo that you want to get a natural bingo this turn, draw the blank, and then play the blank bingo to be able to keep up. I think he's just going to play moi here for 19. And yeah, this is exactly what I would do. Just
Yeah,
block support a tiny little bit, but
yeah,
just kind of um, Dave can't block everything. I mean, Dave happens to have a bingo, but in the world where he doesn't have
Right,
one, Dave can't block everything, so you can get away with doing that small fish there.
right. So like to give a shout out and a thank you to Bax West. Thank you for the Prime subscription as well. Don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a Twitch Prime sub every month. You could consider using it to support Austin, getting us a little closer to a hype train, which of course you'd love to see. But thank you all for coming here to watch, for chatting with us. We love when folks chat with us. Come by this afternoon. We'll be back here. You can keep chatting with us. We'll have more Scrabble action. This is interesting though. Dave, he'll play hideout, but it does seem like maybe Jason has a I assume that that's a word through the B,
Unbribed?
unribbed.
Unribbed?
I mean, I know what it means. Is it a valid Scrabble word?
Yeah, that's a word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Unbribed would be funny, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this falls into Jason's study range. He's sort of in a position where you have nothing to lose by trying it other than a boatload of spread.
Yeah.
But I think I I think there's knowing Jason, having played a good amount of anagrams against him, I don't think he's gonna try it unless he is at least reasonably confident in
Yeah.
it being a word.
Yeah. Wow, look at this. Will was already a sub, but he's also done a prime sub. We're actually only one sub away from a scoring never stops hype train. Oh, it looks like we got there Lord Livgon as well.
Level 2.
Thank you both. Thank you both so much for the sub to Austin's channel.
That is awesome.
Subbing never stops. Thank you all so much. Thank you for watching. Keep it up. We know that Austin appreciates the support. The team here appreciates the support. And we just love being here so much that we're not even playing. We're just sitting here talking. And it's so nice and relaxing.
Yeah, it's hugely vindicating to see people tuned in,
Yeah.
commenting. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. I always think about something like, unribbed, where you're always looking, you see and ed, like you're you just naturally, it's like if you have able on your rack, you're always looking for those words. So I feel like he should see it.
Yeah, unribbed is pretty dumb looking
Yeah.
in the scheme of
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised that I don't know if he probably of course when looking through, especially when you have the B, looking through the B is not
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah. But pays his respect to disc golf world number one, Gannon Burr. Important respects to pay.
Yeah, definitely it's always interesting what crossovers there are between Scrabble and other activities. A lot of disc golf.
Yeah.
Ultimate Frisbee
Yeah.
for sure. We've had some pretty epic Ultimate Frisbee games over the year at the national
Yeah.
championships.
Current.
Disc golf as well.
Yeah.
Definitely growing.
Yeah. I want to come back to some of those people first, but I also want to thank Penumbra as well as Magno. Thank you both so much for the tier 1 subs.
Oh, awesome.
Reached a new record. A new record for Austin's
Oh,
stream.
this is great.
So that's
Could be a
super
fun
cool.
present.
That's
Fun
super
present
cool.
it's like we handed your channel back over to you and we left it better than we found it. We didn't trash it or drive it into the ditch or something.
We're actually almost at level 3. So if anyone's feeling like joining in the scoring never stops train, we're almost there. While Dave continues to think about what he's gonna do here. So I was gonna say our current TWL champion, Nigel Peltier, or one of the two champions. He was a almost junior worlds level ultimate frisbee player.
That's right.
He's in Portland, Oregon, and also a longtime expert, Peter Armstrong, also in Portland. He competed at the what was it, the Grandmaster, whatever, 50 plus worlds. His team made it to the champion, or not the championship game, but to the actual world tournament. So But on the disc golf side of things, the top TWL player in the country, Mac Meller, big disc golfer. He's actually playing disc golf this weekend instead of Scrabble.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt your over the board
Yeah,
Scrabble performance to be
yeah,
in good shape. I mean, look
yeah,
at Nigel Richards, famous
yeah,
avid cyclist, endurance cyclist,
yeah.
very physically fit. It definitely can.
Definitely,
Not that you have to be any particular shape or size to play Scrabble brand crossword game, but it just for your stamina, it doesn't hurt to be in shape, and
yeah,
it's a good yin and yang.
yeah. Looks like Nigel Peltier may have won a Scrabble brand crossword game tournament yesterday. So congrats to him for the scoring also never stopping. And that was super fun. If you didn't get to watch those finals games, except maybe the last one, spoilers, Nigel against Mac, that was a fun,
That was a
yeah,
special final for
yeah,
sure.
battle of the frisbee players. Literally what Mac is more known for.
So Dave here, just focusing back in a little bit on the game. So there are 10 letters remaining. Dave's up at 97 points, which is pretty good. 10 letters remaining is pretty good because it means your opponent just has limited time to get big scores in. The queue is lurking out there as both a threat of a potential large queue bingo, or alternatively, if you end up with the queue on your rack and the bag is empty and your opponent bingoes out, then you have to eat those 20 points. So
Yeah,
Dave wasn't totally out of range, but he takes a big scoring play here of CX, which is some kind of paleo axe from England,
yeah.
as far as I remember. He could have done something there, and also like Vax, but I think he may have preferred to make a longer play
There's a very specific reason why he did it.
to do CX.
There were 10 tiles in the bag, and he played
Yeah,
for 4, which he did that in very much intentionally. It
right,
means that Jason cannot bingo twice.
exactly. So right, so Jason does get the nice bingo down of nosedive here for 78 points, which catches him up a lot of the margin, but exactly. He is going to have 6 tiles on his rack. He is not going to be able to bingo again. So CX getting the job done.
Yeah.
Another thing he could have done there potentially is Valse that I saw under making eel, y'all, and me,
Mhm.
which would have scored 35. Similar vibe of just play enough tiles that Jason can mathematically not bingo again. Valse
Yeah.
would have kept the X, and here Dave just chooses to take the points right
Yeah.
now, guarantee the
Yeah.
victory. Very nice.
Because who knows? Jason drew Q blank. Like all of a sudden, he can play through the B, he could play through the A, he could play through the E. This gets a lot scarier. Or maybe Dave draws the Q here. And that's the key to making sure your opponent can't get those extra 50 points when you have that big a lead. Wanderer notes relax and ZOL, probably a better version of the SEAX play. Does keep the S. Probably nothing wrong with that. ALV versus ASV.
Yeah, but not sure even what the S does. Especially, I think they're pretty equivalent.
Yeah. In this case, it's gonna get close, perhaps with that really nice QI spot, but it's gonna be, too little, too late. Also may just get blocked, as we know Dave is very good at end games. He may just play maybe vaped. He's definitely up there in terms of people who will get the majority of end games correct.
Yeah, you definitely want to block the Q play. One of the ways you can approach this playing the end game. Well, okay, so the when I learned how to play end games from Kenji, the thing that he said that's always stuck with me is you first figure out your opponent's best play. That's how you start everything.
Yep.
And here, the blank makes things a little bit more complicated. But actually, Jason does have other plays like Queen QUEAN to the N at the top right
Yeah.
and QI. So you don't want to sacrifice too much just to block here. But yeah, it's the beauty of Scrabble that when you reach the end of this game, it suddenly transitions from this statistical game to chess with letters. Basically, it is totally deterministic. There's a best play. That play is calculable, albeit sometimes it's pretty laborious to calculate. And Vaped goes down, so he's going to leave the Qin or QIN as a possibility. But it looks like if you followed us yesterday, a big question was making sure that you can go out first.
Yeah.
So Dave has ensured that there are 2 places for the LU at least on the board. There's Love to the V at the top right. There's a Lud for 8 points at the bottom left. And Dave is going to go out first.
Baxtwest says, Nigel, if I recall correctly, makes mistakes 2% of the time in endgames. Other top experts, something like 48% mistakes.
I'm just going to be honest. I have never seen Nigel Richards make a mistake in the endgame. That is not the kind of mistake I've seen him made.
I've seen just the one that Will talked about, the setup that was technically he lost the game. And then his opponent didn't realize the counter setup. That's the only one I know of. Will, you can tell us which video is that?
I think I watched that one, but I've forgotten. So maybe I could say
yeah.
I have first.
Oh yeah, he messed up the SOS.
Yes, that is. Oh man, I remember that one. Yeah. People were mad about the SOS game.
Really? That's because it no more perfection.
I think people were mad about SOS. So yeah, Nigel Richards, maybe the only time he's made a meme play, played SOS for 3 points in a lost game, and
yeah,
people were mad at the time. It's like, well, he plays perfectly all the time, and he's just gonna lose by 150. It could affect the outcome of the tournament. But I think he won the tournament anyway. Yeah. So it was all moot.
Yeah. Yeah. I once got to play both blanks for 1 point. I got to, both blanks for 1 point. I once played a blank next to a blank for 0 points in games I had lost. Because you know what? There's just things I want to be able to say I've done in life.
And there you go.
Yeah. And I probably didn't affect the outcome of the tournament. I'm also not Nigel, so do it that way you will. Yeah.
Yeah, Qin goes down.
But I have to wonder, people like Dave or maybe Will. I think of Jello Mochas as being a really good endgame player. Noah Walton, Mac Meller. Like, I have to imagine that the people who really like study endgames surely get more than half of them right. Like endgame 0 in the bag. I'm not talking about pre-endgames at all. Those are hard. I don't know. I wish we had this kind of data. That would be super cool.
I wish we had the ability to study them more efficiently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dave closes things out, plays the LU as anticipated, and he's going to hit that 500 point mark. Usually when you hit that benchmark as an expert, you feel pretty good. You're almost always going to win those. Not always in the world lexicon, but most of the time hitting that 500 mark is a sign that all cylinders were firing. And Dave didn't have a totally gilded road to this point. He had to work through some interesting intermediate spots, and he did so with aplomb and
let's see what they're talking about. I bet they're very calm.
And going a lot harder down there, at least.
Yeah. I was actually not 100% sure of Cinco's. I was just worried, maybe this is an adjective. Am I remembering this right? Thanks to my first play, won't ask my relatives to watch this game. They can watch the first game I was streamed.
Probably some good commentary, I would imagine.
Yep.
Didn't really leave room for too many extensions, unfortunately.
Nope. Well, I had my leave was knit, so I had anti. I feel like maybe may have missed Bingo's the couple of terms before that. I just couldn't quite see anything.
Thanks. All right.
I guess that's about it for their post game conversation. Again, two super like very soft spoken, but like very even keel, nice human beings, both fun to be around, and just that's about what I would expect for a post game recap. I think we're gonna probably go to another couple minute break here before we come back for 2 more games this morning, and then 4 more games this afternoon. Please hang around, and thanks for all the subs for Austin's channel.